Hi, welcome to Surviving Motherhood. Okay, in my read through the Bible, I'm doing a lot of Psalms right now, and I read Psalm 81. It's written to God's people, Israel, but as I read it, I couldn't help but wonder what might it sound like if God had spoken these words to his church in the United States of America. Just going to read the second half of the psalm for you. This is Psalm 81, starting in verse 8. Hear, O my people, and I will warn you. If you would but listen to me, O Israel, you shall have no foreign god among you. You shall not bow down to an alien god. I am the Lord your God, who brought you up out of Egypt. Open wide your mouth, and I will fill it. But my people would not listen to me. Israel would not submit to me. So I gave them over to their stubborn hearts to follow their own devices. If my people would but listen to me, if Israel would follow my ways, how quickly would I subdue their enemies and turn my hand against their foes. Those who hate the Lord would cringe before him, and their punishment would last forever. But you would be fed with the finest of wheat. With honey from the rock, I would satisfy you. One of the things that really struck me in this passage was just God's heart for his people. He says 3 times he talks about wanting his people to listen to him. He says, Hear, O my people, and I will warn you. If you would but listen to me, O Israel. And the thing he wants them to hear, he says next, is that you should have no other gods before me. He says, I am the one who brought you out of Egypt. I am your God. Then he says, open wide your mouth and I will fill it. And we'll see in a minute how he wants to fill it. That part is really, really cool. So he starts off saying, if you would but listen to me. Then he says, but my people would not listen to me. Israel would not submit to me. So what did he do? He gave them over to their stubborn hearts to follow their own devices. And I can't help but wonder if he was talking to America, if he was to look at us with the recent Supreme Court decision about gay marriage. We've got leaders within the church who are more concerned about making people feel good than about declaring the truth of God's word. Would he say, but my people would not listen to me? The United States of America would not submit to me, so I gave them over to their stubborn hearts to follow their own devices. I read those words and I just wonder, God, we can see how you responded to Israel. How would you want to address us? He says, if my people would but listen to me, if Israel would follow my ways, I'd take care of their enemies. I would put away everything that troubles them. And then he says, but you would be fed with the finest of wheat. With honey from the rock, I would satisfy you. I read those words and I just see God's heart. He just wants to do good for his people. He wants his people to worship only him, to have no other gods before him, to just listen to him and obey him. And if we would do that, if we would submit to him, he would fill us with the finest of everything. His desire for us is faith and obedience. And his will, his desire is to do good for us. If only we would listen. So, my friends, I know some of you are in the United States and some of you are not, no matter where you are. I pray that God would be speaking to your heart today. Would you submit to him? Would you listen to him and trust him? His desire is for you. His desire is for good. Now have a wonderful, Jesus-full day.